So I'm gonna now let this sit for 30 minutes at a time. And every 30 minutes I'm gonna come fold the dough. Folding has a number of benefits, and there are a number of ways to do it depending on your desired results. It will organize the dough and help just continue, it equalizes the temperature, which is really important to maintain even fermentation, and it'll help create internal structure and keep the gluten exercised, so it'll continue building strength. If the more you fold your dough, the more regular you're making the internal structure. So, and the less you fold your dough, the more irregular you're leaving the internal structure. So some people don't fold at all and they get like really wild variation in the inside. So it's kind of all just a matter of your preference and what you want to do. My preferred method is, I feel like kind of in the middle. I fold every 30 minutes for the first 2 hours of bulk fermentation, and then every hour after that until the dough is ready. And as discussed, whenever it's ready is just based on the rate of fermentation. My kitchen is really warm, and like the spot where I have my bowl is right in the sun, so I don't want it to be in the hottest part of the room, so I'm just gonna like put it over there where it's not gonna be sitting right in the sun, and obviously I'm gonna cover it. So it's been about 30 minutes, so it's time for the first fold. What I'm gonna do here is dip my hands in my water, and then you're gonna fold basically like in 4 directions, like north, south, east, west. And remember, be careful not to tear the dough, so you don't want to like dig in with your nails or like be really rough with it. So I'm going to kind of do this motion to scoop up the dough, and I'm going to gently pull it upwards and then let it fold over the top. Then I'm going to turn 180 degrees. My hands are still wet, so I don't need to dip them again. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Lift and fold. And then 90 degrees, so we're now, like if we had done north and south, now we're going to do east and west. So up and over, up and over. Then what I'm going to do is pick up the dough and just flip it so that the nice clean side is on top and all the like folded edges are underneath. And that's all she wrote. We'll do it again in 30 minutes. So now it's time to do the second fold. I'm going to show you a folding method that's slightly different this time. You can do either one. I typically tend to do the first one for my first couple folds and then transition into this one towards the end because I think it's a little gentler on the dough. So here we go. So one thing for you to notice, even though you can't really see because I have a crappy camera setup, is that my dough's starting to have some air bubbles pop up, so that's really good. That means the fermentation is going. And like it's very jiggly and floppy right now because it's been relaxing since it got folded. So now we're going to do the fold. So again, dip in the water. And this time, instead of pulling it up and over, I'm going to let the weight of the dough have it fold under itself. So I'm going to pick it up a little bit, just like slightly north of the center. And again, kind of like loosening it from the bowl first. So I'm going to lift it and let that northern side just kind of curl under. And then do the south, let it go under. And like, so do you see what I mean about how this is like a little less disturbing to the dough? So the reason that I make this change as I go, and this way I also don't have to like pick it up and flip it over. And you'll notice on your own dough that as you fold, then it like gains body again, and then when you come back to it again, it'll like relax and is floppy. So the reason for changing the folding style has to do with the balloons. as fermentation progresses, the balloons are filling up more and more, and you know, that's leading to you achieving your interior structure. And ideally, if you want an open crumb or just a more open crumb than you have been getting, you know, you want to really avoid collapsing and popping any air bubbles that are developing in the dough. So I just think that that folding under is a little more gentle. So I like to do that as things progress. But at the beginning, I still like the up and over because I just think it gives me a little bit more control over the fold, and I can stretch it more and stuff. So that's all. It's been 30 minutes again, so now we're going to do the third fold. At this point, you hopefully would notice your dough starting to increase in volume. So we'll see. Everything looks good in there. So I'm going to do the fold under again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. All done. I'll probably come back in like an hour. I think I want to let it just ferment and build up some gas, and then we'll see how it looks in a little bit. Alright, so I didn't film the last fold, but it's now been 2 hours since last time we were on video. Gonna do the final fold now. It's been about 4 hours of bulk fermentation, and the dough's looking good. I can tell it's active because like the bubbles are starting to come up. So we're just gonna do this one last fold, and then go from there. Okay, so for the final fold, we're gonna do the folding under method. So I'm dipping in my water, and then, you know, you should know the drill by now. Gently kind of loosen from the bowl. And trying to be gentle while still getting my fold in. Like I've discussed earlier, you know, this is a period where we know that the balloons in the dough are nice and inflated. We want to do our best not to disturb that while still making sure that we're building tension into the dough. So if you can count, you probably noticed that I did a double round of folding. Just kind of felt like I wanted to based on how the dough looked. So I'll probably let this sit for an hour now, and then it will be time to turn it out of the bowl, divide it into my 3 loaves, give each loaf a pre-shape, shape it, and then put it into its basket for the final fermentation, which we call the final proof.